Okay, so Tim, this is for you. I had something else planned, but Tim piqued my interest, and here are some popular questions for CrossFit answered for you. The first one that wasn't asked, but I'm going to admit failure on my part, is yes, I did spell, or at least write, CrossFit incorrectly. Capital C, capital F, whatever. But, so yeah, I did it wrong. There's your question. It's answered. All right, so these first couple are from Tim Moy. Is sumo cheating? Cheating what? Isn't that the question? What are you cheating? Nothing. You're just doing a different movement. All right. Is chest day really the best day? I mean, it's hard to say no to that one, but if you're loving it, then do it. If you listen to me long enough, if anybody out there, then you know that do what works. And if that makes you happy, man, put chest in there, right? So for Tim, yes. Is there really such a thing as too much pre-WOD? So, okay, so the actual answer is yes. So pre-WOD it's basically anything you would take before you do whatever workout you do. So we call it pre-WOD. WOD just means workout of the day. And typically, pre-WOD has this, oh man, I can't think of it. It's beta something. It's like an adjutant, so it'll make you want to itch because it's opening up capillaries and your blood vessels, right? And it's got caffeine for the same reason. So if you feel like taking 2 5-hour energies is too much, then of course the answer is going to, or if you feel like it's not too much, then the answer for you is no. But the answer really is yes. You could take too much. You really shouldn't load up on pre-WOD stuff. So there you go. Why is Nick Armenta so jacked? Look, when they come calling for firemen in the calendars, you got to be jacked. So why wouldn't he be? He saves lives on a daily basis, and he's just ready for that calendar opportunity. So should this is my favorite. Should burpees be classified as human rights violations? No. All right, so here's the real questions for everybody else. All right, so these do get asked a lot. Which exercise will help me lose the most weight? And really start with nutrition. I did this yesterday. CrossFit's mentality is a sandwich of nutrition and sport, and in the middle some CrossFit, right? But nutrition, if you want to lose weight, fix your habits with nutrition, that's the best way to do it. After that, lifting heavy stuff will burn fat. Going long distances burn carbs. So which one are you having an issue with? How much protein do I need? Okay, so there's a lot of well, really, what are they asking in that? For the most, normal people, well, the average person, which means nobody does this, but the average person can digest about 200 grams of protein. So like when we do our longer adventure races, we'll eat bars, and the bars will have 200 grams of, so you can, or 200, not protein, 200 grams of calories, or that doesn't make sense. 200 calorie is a unit of measurement. I'm going to get my numbers mixed up since I didn't write anything down beforehand. But the question is, how much protein do I need? It really depends on your goals, and your stomach can only digest so much. So if you are strictly lifting, then you'd eat more protein because you want more building materials. If you are running, then if you're doing like an adventure race like me, then you're probably wanting more fats. I know people would probably say carbs, but fats are a slower burn, so it'll last longer. And then, so I guess the question is, how much do you need? People get away with protein, never eating beef again. But you'll get protein from other sources. So you do need protein in your life, and it totally depends on what you're doing. So I guess ... talk to a coach and say, this is what I'm trying to do, and they'll tell you. Actually, a lot of these are probably going to be, it depends, which I suppose any really good answer is, it depends on what you're doing, right? So how to shred belly fat, how to lose weight fast. Okay, so How about I'll start this one with what you shouldn't do. Fat doesn't come off by spot burning. It just puts muscles underneath that fat. So if you try to do a bunch of sit-ups because you're feeling like, hey, I'm fat, I'm gonna do sit-ups to burn my stomach fat, it doesn't do that. It puts muscles under the fat, which kind of makes it look like it's gonna come out more. Your fat typically comes off the same way it went on. So if you went legs, thighs, belly, arms, then it'll come off arms, belly, thighs, leg, right? So it just comes off usually the same way. So if you want to, so again, what are you trying to do? If you're a wrestler trying to lose weight, get in a shower with some plastics on, dip, and jump rope while you're in there. You may die, but you'll lose weight. So that's probably not what you're asking. It starts with nutrition. So fix your nutrition first. Best HIIT workout. So HIIT is high intensity training. And is there a best one? I mean, it would be whatever is creating the most power output that you can sustain. So you wouldn't want to do like Fran 3 days a week because it's not, you can't maintain that, right? Probably wouldn't want it, you could probably do Helen a couple days a week. So I think my favorite would be something like Helen with something heavier mixed in. Like do Helen with maybe like 135 pound power cleans. But I would say something that gives you a little mixture of everything, but still is at a short time domain so that you can continue doing this. So who wants to work out 35 minutes a day every day, right? Of course, high intensity, it assumes shorter, though some people do circuit training and they go forever and sort of taking away the point of what you're doing. But all right, some next ones. So 5 common questions. Do I have to be in shape relatively or young relatively? Hey guys, hey Earl, hey Brian, I forgot to say hi, to do CrossFit. Nope, we have CrossFit post videos of super young and super old people doing CrossFit, super out of shape people without limbs doing CrossFit. So the idea is it's massively scalable and I forgot my other word, man. Modifiable. So you can scale the reps and the weights, and you can modify the movements and still elicit very similar responses. So basically just start. Do people get injured all the time doing CrossFit? So yesterday I said, if you watch someone doing CrossFit, you'll die, because that's what they used to say, something like that. The answer is no, people do not get injured all the time. So you do, like in any sport, if you don't listen to your coach, you're probably gonna hurt yourself. So if you are doing the javelin and the coach says, hey, when you throw the javelin, make sure you look down the field, whatever they're throwing on, the yard, make sure nobody's out there. You probably should do that, right? So if you just pick up sticks and throw, or whatever you call those things, javelins, and toss them, probably gonna hurt somebody, probably gonna maybe hurt yourself. If you pick up shot puts that you shouldn't be shot putting, tossing, throwing, whatever, you might mess your shoulder. So listen to your coach. Same thing in CrossFit. We tell people all the time, hey, don't do that yet. So typically what we try to do is master your form and your function before you do a new weight. Once you can master form and function, add weight. If you can do that with weight and you can are repeatable under a controlled environment, put it in a workout. So if you can't do 95-pound hang power clean, then don't put that in a workout because you're gonna hurt yourself, right? So listen to your coach. No, people don't get injured. Back in like 2012, people were like, you're gonna die, and it never paired out. We actually, I think CrossFit sued the they sued somebody big time because they said they published a statement with no back or false backing, false data. Anyway, so no, people, it's more likely you're gonna hurt yourself walking than it is in CrossFit. How do I choose a gym? Actually, I talk about that one all the time. So big thing, easy one, call, text me, email me. I help people out. Not tons of people, but I've had a couple calls and emails and texts. Email's best, andy@crossfitgarage.com. Help you find anyone here locally in Woodstock, or if you're out and about in different states, yeah, I will totally help you find one. So what do I identify as a good gym? If you just got a glance, right? So I'm gonna look at their website. If they don't care enough about their outward presence, then I'm probably just gonna pass on. So if their website is crap, well, probably on the inside, I mean, this is, again, glancing blows, could be crap. Or maybe it's great and they just don't care about their website. But hey, I got to start somewhere, right? And then what I'm going to be looking for is response time. If I ask a question, I'm going to look if they care about nutrition. I'm going to look if they have personal training. I'm going to see how much they talk about coaching, mentoring, and accountability, because that's the key. Those are my first things that I look at. Are they willing to talk to you about your goals? If they aren't, they're just like, come on in and do stuff. Well, I would avoid gyms like that. So there's my 2 cents. Let's see. And also, I suppose it depends. What are you looking for? Do you want strength specific, or do you want or leaning towards strength, or leaning towards endurance, or just CrossFit in general? My assumption was CrossFit in general. How do I know what a good CrossFit coach looks like? Now, I'm assuming looks in this case isn't like, oh, I can look at them and tell, because looks doesn't have much to do with it. They could be on their own journey. So a good CrossFit coach is going to respect your time and start class on time and finish on time. They are also going to probably say your name a few times. They're going to give you some corrections, but not overwhelm you. So if you are doing something unsafe, they're going to call attention to you and fix that. But if it's something minor, like, hey, I didn't hook grip, they may just offer, hey, have you ever thought about hook gripping, right? So a good CrossFit coach will use these twice and this once. So they're going to listen, or I suppose watch, and then instruct or get in your jam, not as much, right? So they'll take it also in pieces and parts. So I, for example, like to watch people move naturally and then go to correct. You might find a coach that says, I like to discuss it and then watch. Which one's better? It doesn't really matter. It's how can they identify and correct, as well as motivate to excel, right? So I would say also for me, a good coach is happy, humble, and helpful. So if you walk in and they're like, oh, today's such a bad day, it's not a great coach. You want to get in there and have like the best hour of your day. This is your blow off steam time, right? Humble, you may come up to him and say, hey, I just heard that the Barney diet is the best diet in the world. Let me tell you about it. And if they're like, no, shut your mouth, it's the Zone diet, then they're not humble. They're not willing to listen. I mean, some of the best people out there will admit, I don't know everything, teach me, right? So always be willing to be learning and helpful. So whatever it may be, they want to be there and coach. If they're not really helping anybody, or you leave and you're like, yeah, I didn't know how to do this, or had some trouble with that, and they didn't say, oh, can I help? Then probably not a great coach, right? Okay. Isn't it super expensive to join a CrossFit gym? I would love to say yes, and you should pay all that money, but I guess it depends, right? If you're used to the $10 Globo gym, then yep, this can be more money. But if you're used to personal training, you're gonna be, oh man, that is so cheap. If you are used to paying for any service for your kid coaching, you'll be like, oh, it's about the same, right? So typically they're gonna be about $150-ish to $250, somewhere in there a month. And you should get coaching, mentoring, and accountability. So if you did karate, you're probably paying $100 or $150 a month for your kid, and they go twice a week. So you're paying something like $150, $200, but you're going 5 times a week or something like that. So you're going a lot more often. And there should be other things on the outside of the gym to help promote that value, like, well, at our gym, we do something called Forever Coach, but it's just coaching you outside of the gym so that we are helping you progress along your goals. All right, some other ones. This is from Main Site. Let's see, I already answered that. What about nutrition? Will CrossFit affect my health? Yes. Where can I do CrossFit? Actually, you can do CrossFit. Really, the idea of it is just cross fitness, right? So anywhere. Originally, I was doing CrossFit in my unfinished basement with Justin Lebrecht, and we were using a fertilizer bag as a kettlebell, a half-empty one with it rolled up in duct tape, and we did pull-ups on a plumber's pipe across a unfinished double door jam. Very unsafe, but so you can do it anywhere, right? Whoa, this is a good one. Where can I find CrossFit workouts? Just go to CrossFit.com. They publish workouts, or you can follow almost any CrossFit gym. They usually just post them, or just ask, right? I mean, they'll be happy to give you some workouts, but it really depends on the kind of gear you've got. Is the WOD enough, or should I do more? Actually, that's a great question, and it totally depends on who and where you are in your fitness journey. So if you're going to the games, no, you need to do a lot more. If you're me, Heck yeah, right? Totally enough. Okay, so some next ones. These aren't specifically CrossFit related. Why does exercise matter? I don't even... Because it does? You should... Here's what I tell people normally on this one. If the hardest thing you do all day is the things you do all day, then you're destined to have somebody else wipe your own butt when you're 90. So do something harder. Which I already did a whole thing on which exercise program is best for me. It really is the one you'll do. So go listen to that video. Oh, this is a good one. So it's kind of along the lines of, do I need to be fit enough or young enough for something to do CrossFit? Where should I begin? You should begin by calling, emailing, and setting up an appointment to talk to a coach so they can know what you're actually after, right? Does exercise help your mental, yes, your mental health? So weirdly, when we ask people here at our gym, you know, why do you like coming here? All these other questions, normally the number one answer is it's a release from all the pressure and tension of the day. It's a mental health moment for me. This just helps me refresh and all that. So it's all, yes, mental health. Do you need protein for exercise? You don't need it. It just depends what you're trying to do. If you're trying to gain muscle, I mean, it helps, right? Already to the weight one. How do you gain weight? Oh, this is a good one. Not many people ask this one. How do I gain weight doing CrossFit? Eat more. One of my old coaches, Tim Nickerson, love that guy. Tim, if you're ever watching these, woo-hoo, he came up with, so if you remember the Whole 30, he came up with the Swole 30, which he doubled and made it the Swole 60. And it was a lot of eating and a lot of back squats. And holy mackerel, that boy changed himself over a 2 to 3 month. It was over the summer. But yeah, so if you need to gain weight and need a program to follow, it's not really much. It's just eat a lot. There's some details in there and do a lot of back squats. Wow. So yeah, you can totally gain. Is there so why is there a difference, or is there a difference between the men's workout and the women's workout? So the rough idea is that if you look at the records for Olympic lifts, they're about 30% different. So they just make it 30% less for women in some of the workouts. So it's not very good standard. So if we're going to do 10 pull-ups, then girls should do in the workout 7 pull-ups, but they don't do that. They just do it on some wall balls and some weights and some other things. And sometimes when we do calorie rows, but not when we run. So it's very arbitrary. I don't like that system at all. But in general, the girls do more work than the guys. Can you exercise without a gym? Yes. Used to do this in my basement. Just said that. What are the... no, it's not... No, okay. So I think those are pretty good questions. If you've got questions you want answered, put them in the comments or email them over to me, and I'll do my best to... Well, most of the questions you mean ... So give me enough detail so I know which direction you're kind of leaning, and I'll do my best to answer those. Okay, so most common questions and answered-ish, and are burpees a human rights violation? I actually love burpees, so no, but most people say yes.